Imagine if you knew that you have the power to make things change around you. Sometimes, we get scared of tough times without really knowing where they come from. It's like the power of the universal mind. We aren't just helpless, controlled by a God who decides everything in the world. Actually, it's through us that this amazing power works every day. What we say, think, and believe is what shapes the world around us. Understanding the huge potential inside us is the biggest challenge. Yes, we are divine beings. Sadly, only a few folks get the true meaning of being masters of our fate. We can use our smart human brains to imagine, question, and plan our own way because we're capable of intelligent thought. The idea of a dual mind messes up our understanding. The mind is one big unit, and we all can turn thoughts into action. This is the law of life, and the mind reflects whatever thought we put into it. But when we give control to something outside of us, we create a split. The mind is one whole thing, and opposing this reality is like going against the law. The problem is, we often see the mind with only limitations based on our thoughts and surroundings. But the mind knows everything and sees everything. It doesn't analyze but knows what's given to it. Our thoughts through this, one, or whatever we call it, create all our affairs. Believing that something external decides everything is just our inner mind making the mind work. When we say, "It is done unto us as we believe," we aren't putting ourselves at the mercy of something outside us. It's about what we believe. Every sorrow, every joy, even the smallest thing to the biggest mountain is just our own mind creating it. When we believe something, the mind has to listen because it doesn't see itself as separate from us. Whether we see this universal infinite power as the mind, God, or anything else, it's all one. Since it's one thing, we can't be separate from it, it has to work through us. So, man needs to get that he shares the divinity of whatever created him and everything else. Then why do we see abundance in nature and the power that creates everything, yet feel limited? Unless we recognize this great power and abundance within us first, we'll keep creating from a place of scarcity. Once we get that we are the center of all this divine activity, we realize we always had the choice for good vibes. When we believe our only limit is our mind, we're saying the mind is only influenced by our thoughts. Our thoughts become the law of our lives. The power of thought to make things real is as strong as God's plan of creation in life's big picture. The mind doesn't label things good or evil, it just creates what it knows. This is the universal law of manifestation, unknown to most. This law doesn't ask us to create, positive thinking makes things come into existence. The great power or divine source is always ready, waiting to be recognized and used by us. As we send our thoughts out there, what we believe is done to us. If someone doesn't know this law, they'll be stuck with self-imposed restrictions on a creative mind. The power to get rid of negative thoughts we don't want and hold on to what we want has always been with us. Everything in this world is like a movie made by our thoughts. Our biggest mistake is not realizing that we're already everything we want to be. The power to think something is real and believe in it is so strong that it becomes a fact. We just need to know and believe in what we want, and it happens. Everything in our life comes from what we believe. Our outer world shows if we believe in a world full of good things or a world with not enough. Our thoughts about success, money, death, and other things shape our lives. Knowing that our thoughts are what really matters means we can choose to change them. When we see ourselves differently, our whole world changes. No outside thing can mess with this law. If it did, it would mean that the divine power in all of us isn't whole. Getting rid of every thought that takes us away from this truth makes us free. We are one with a healthy mind, meaning we are one with God. When we know this, it starts working in our lives. There's no outside power, it's all about our words, how we live. We already have the power to get everything we want with the words we think, hear, and say. So, reality isn't controlled by something outside. It's just the universe and the mind working together. Understanding this truth changes how we see life. It's not about fear and suffering. Religions and philosophies often make us see life in a distorted way. But life is just the divinity that created it showing up. Trusting it and seeing it this way destroys the illusion that anything is out of our control. Your mind's power isn't just for personal growth or a few minutes of meditation. Life is like an ongoing meditation, and everything we think and say sets it in motion. Seeing divinity in everything, making it all one, is the most powerful thing to know. To know our divine nature and power, we need to unlock our mind's full potential. If we don't, we'll keep living with a limited view of our otherwise super creative mind. The power to control everything, rise above our surroundings, and stay calm in chaos lies in our thoughts. Such a person becomes a magnet for all good things because they find power within, not just in the outer world. Someone who learns this truth shows the divine in their mortal body. The universe can't help but see them as a master and make things happen as they believe. This quote by Buddha holds a profound message about the power of our minds in shaping our lives. It emphasizes that the mind is not just a part of who we are, it's everything, the core of our existence. What we think, according to Buddha, carries immense significance. It suggests that thoughts aren't mere fleeting ideas but potent forces that influence our reality. The choice of the term "you become" implies a dynamic process, highlighting that our thoughts have the transformative power to shape our lives. This insight encourages a sense of agency, indicating that we have control over what occupies our minds. The quote underscores a self-fulfilling prophecy, suggesting that the nature of our thoughts can attract corresponding experiences into our lives. In essence, Buddha's wisdom urges us to be mindful of our thoughts, recognizing their profound impact on our journey and the reality we create for ourselves.